Hello lovely viewers, you are most welcome to our channel Poetry Online. In this lesson, we shall be discussing the detailed analysis of the poem Because I Could Not Wait for Death by Emily Dickinson. Kindly subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get updates on all our new videos. Once again, let us assure you of a very interesting discussion. Get ready for this lesson. Because I Could Not Wait for Death is one of the greatest masterpieces of American poetry, written by Emily Dickinson. The poem makes good use of personification and figurative language to drive home its intended message. The poem basically talks about death and how death takes a woman on a ride around the town, the graveyard, and beyond. While on their late afternoon ride, Death took the woman to the graveyard. They equally passed by children who are playing. They saw the weeds in the field and the setting of the sun. The poem is told from the perspective of the unknown woman and not the point of view of Emily Dickinson. Throughout the poem, we hear the voice of this unknown woman who tells the story of how she was busily going about her day-to-day activities when Death politely approached her. A polite and well-mannered gentleman by name Death approached this woman. Death arrives in a carriage to take the woman on a ride. Our poetic speaker informs us of a passenger inside the carriage. This passenger is described as a strange and mysterious person. He goes by the name Immortality. The poem is made up of 6 quatrains of 4-line stanza. Let's now take a detailed analysis of the lines contained in the poem. Because I could not wait for death, he kindly stopped for me, the courage held by just ourselves and immortality. The poet begins the poem by describing death in terms of human characteristics and attributes through the use of personification. The poetic speaker we come across in this poem is a woman who tells us her encounter with death. The woman acknowledged the politeness of death, which contrasts sharply with the idea people have about death. It is clear from all indication that this woman is very busy going about her day-to-day activities. She is so consumed by her daily activities that she never even for a second stopped to think about death. However, death surprises this woman with a visit. Here, death is presented to us as a well-groomed gentleman who kindly visited this woman to take her on an afternoon ride. Our poetic speaker introduces us to the third person in the poem, and this person goes by the name Immortality. We slowly drove, he knew no haste, and I had to put away my labor and my leisures too for his civility. Here again, even though the poet described Death as a kind fellow, for kindly paying her a visit, we find Death as someone who does not worry so much about time as humans do. Death slowly drove the carriage and knew no haste. What this simply means is that Death has no concept of time, as time and space are earthly concerns. However, Death will carry the human soul beyond the reach of time and space. Therefore, Death is not concerned or worried about the concept of time. Another interesting thing we come across in this line is that people spend so much of their time going about their day-to-day activities. As a result of this, they barely have time to think about death. The woman we come across in this poem is no exception to that, as she was so consumed with her labor. However, she had to put away all her labor and her leisures in order to go with death. She equally comments on the politeness of death. Death is presented to us as a true gentleman who drove slowly and knew no haste. She also praised his civility and formal politeness and his good manners. We passed the school where the children strove. At races, in the ring, we passed the fields of gazing grain. We passed the setting sun. This quatrain is rich with imagery, as Death takes his passengers on a journey. The passengers seem amused with the things they see on their way. However, they are not worried, or they seem not to be bothered or concerned with where they are going. It is interesting to note that, despite the woman putting away her labor and leisure, she is still amused and distracted by earthly things or material things. This might be so because she is seeing them for the last time, or because of her busy nature, she never really had time to notice all these beautiful things which nature has provided. It is so obvious that this woman took all these things for granted: children playing, wheat growing, and the sun setting. These are common to everyone. However, due to the busy nature of her life, all these images or scenes never really meant anything to her, until now that she is about to take a final journey to the graveyard. We are also told that the children are playing in the ring. Here, the ring is a symbol of eternity. The grain represents the natural world. The setting sun we come across in this quatrain represents the universal clock, which is used to measure human life on earth. As they passed it by, the woman seems to be taken into a different or new dimension. Or rather, he passed us. The dews drew quivering and chill. For only garments my gown, my tippet only towel. Here again, the poet emphasizes on the idea that death has no concern for earthly time or earthly things such as time. The poetic speaker remarks that he passed us by, indicating the passage of time by its daily course across the sky. It is clear from all indication that night is approaching and a chilling dew is setting in. References to the thickness of the woman's clothing suggest that she is growing cold. This line reminds us that she is now dead. We paused before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice in the ground. Here, the speaker used a euphemism to describe the grave. This house we come across in this line is the grave, and not the ordinary house we know. It is in this grave that the body of this woman will be kept or housed. She went on to describe the house, or better still, the grave, as a swelling of the ground. She equally remarks that she can hardly see the roof, and the cornice is only visible above the pile of the earth. And since then, 'tis centuries and yet feel shorter than the day I first submerged on the horse's head, were towards eternity. Here, the lines have been exaggerated and should not be taken literally. The poet used an excellent example of hyperbole or overstatement to carry home her message. Centuries, as we all know, are longer than a single day. However, the poetic speaker feels a century seems shorter than a day. All along, The woman seems not to know where death has taken her to. In these final lines of the poem, Emily Dickinson answers the riddle of the woman, or she answers the riddle of the woman's destination. The poet used the word submerged to clearly depict that the woman guesses through her own intuition that the head of the horses are pointed towards eternity, and suddenly she remembers that immortality has been sitting beside her all along. The major themes of the poem include the cycle of life, inevitability of death, time. Thanks for watching this short video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.